Right. Hello, hello. We are live. Hello, my beautiful women, my beautiful sisters. Whew, big day in a woman's world, in a women's life. So, definitely wanted to show up here today. And if you're wondering why am I wearing my bra and just something sexy and beautiful, it's because I am wearing this for me. Not for anyone else, but I feel good and I'm feeling empowered in my body and what I wear. And this is exactly why am I jumping live here to share this with you. So today is a big world for us women in the world. And I can feel a lot of this whole spectrum of emotions already going through rage, sadness, and the worst of all is numbness, right? The numbness, the stillness, the silence where I don't even know what to say or speak because this has been going on for so long. So let me know, how are you feeling today? It's a big day. It's an important conversation. And I've done some breath work. I've done my tea ceremony and meditation, and I'm still feeling rage. And the sacred rage is part of the wild goddess, the dark goddess medicine. And in our society, in our world, there is no room for the dark goddess. There is no place for her. She has been shunned. She is not invited to the table very often because she carries that medicine that sometimes makes people uncomfortable. So I want to talk a little bit about the dark goddess today. For some of you who are hopping on, hello, hello, hello. So good to see you. And I'm going to speak for myself. I'm feeling the rage and the rumbling of this dark goddess that has been going on for thousands of years. So it's not something new, but it's like a wound that's like reawakening, right? And no matter where you are in the world, if you are in a country that's liberal, in a state that's liberal, and the decisions that were made today are not going to affect you, I feel like I am deeply, deeply connected to my mission again to stand and to give voice for all women's freedom and sovereignty. And until we are all free, really, none of us are free. We're not free until we are all free and sovereign. So that's part of the embodied feminine mission and what I do and who I am. And there is so much packed in here about shame, about our bodies, about our wombs and the power of our wombs and our sexuality. Ah, so much to say, and at the same time, I just want us to feel the spectrum of these emotions and be with them. And the gift of the dark goddess is that she invites us into these uncomfortable places. She invites us into the darkness, into the void, where sometimes we don't have the answer. We don't know what to do or what to say. We don't have a plan, a plan necessarily that will walk us through the steps of what to do. But the dark goddess doesn't really care, right? The dark goddess doesn't really care for how it looks. She doesn't care how it's going to end or what is the result here. She is fierce and she's courageous, right? And she also carries the power of um, shining light on the shadow, shining light on something that's uncomfortable, that's dark, and she doesn't care what needs to be done. The problem becomes the solution. She jumps in first and she makes things uncomfortable. So it's really ironically how we just had the summer solstice a few days ago and we're still in the light of the summer solstice. And this is exactly what the light does. The light shines its brightest light and illuminates any darkness, right? And it can be the darkness in the world, in the collective right now, but it also is the darkness in here, in between our two ears, in our hearts, in our wombs, right? And I think it also always starts with the self. This revolution starts with the self. It starts with reclaiming our own body, our own sovereignty, our own wombs, our yonis, our power that resides right here. And the dark goddess, she's there to transmute, to move those things out of the way. She's here to shake things up, really. And that's what she's doing right now. So may today be the day that we remember the power. May today be day one, right? The beginning of a revolution, a beginning of women's sovereignty, a beginning where we reclaim the full power and tremendous love for our yonis, our wombs, where we sit in circles with sisters over and over and over again and remember the stories. Remember her story, not his story that we've been told in schools, but really remembering her story, your feminine lineage, your grandmothers, your mothers, the history that was passed on. And this history is not just oral or mental. The history of the feminine, the story of the feminine is visceral. It's in our bones, it's in our wombs, it's in our DNA. We bask in our mother's wombs. We bask in those juices. So automatically, we carry those stories, and the stories that our grandmothers carried and the grandmothers of our mothers carried. So this runs so, so deep, so deep. So if you're feeling all the feels today, may this be the medicine. May this be the beginning. May this be the medicine of something. Like, what is it doing to me? Why am I uncomfortable? Why am I enraged? Right? This could be the beginning. And I didn't always know this, but this is exactly why, I committed to this work about a decade ago now, and I'm still on it, and it's still not over. We're just beginning. We're just beginning. So this is the work of the Dark Goddess, is to unpack what's uncomfortable, unpack what lives deep, deep, deep in our bones, in our DNA, and all the stories that were told to us. His story, his story of whether it's socio-cultural, religious things that were told to us about the church, about sexuality, about women's empowerment, what women are here to do, and women's innate gifts, our ability to feel so deeply, our ability to connect with our emotions, with our intuition, right? And our sacred moon time that's been also repressed and shunned, and so much shame. It's just packed with shame, guilt, repression. And this is where we begin, So I didn't know exactly why I was doing what I was doing, and I've been feeling this really uncomfortable feel for about a month. And, something has been in the cooking, in the making for all this time. But now I know why. I know exactly why we're here. We're here to remember who we are and remember our power and remember the gift of our wombs. They're so multi-dimensional. They're literal portals of creation, not just of physical life. We're not just here to make babies, but we're here to create consciously. They're luring. They're so incredibly powerful, right? Because they carry this tremendous, tremendous ability to create, ability to connect to God, to cosmos, to the universe, to everything. So I didn't know exactly why I was feeling so uncomfortable, but at the same time, I was creating something so, so juicy. And this summer, as a matter of fact, next week, we are launching our first module, our first intro class for the pleasure camp. The Goddess Summer Pleasure Camp is here. And we're going to go on for 10 weeks. And we're going to look at all these topics of what consists of women's sexuality and women's empowerment. What are some of the stories that we've been told in here that are no longer accurate? What are some of the stories that we carry in our hearts when it comes to sexuality, relationships, your own body, your confidence, and your voice? So the voice chakra, our throat chakra, is in direct connection to our womb chakra, right? To our sacral chakra. They actually physiologically look exactly the same. The glands, the throat, everything. So we're going to be reclaiming, as much as we tap into the womb power, we're reclaiming our voice. And our voices are a powerful message that we carry in the world. And I truly know this in my bones and my gut, in my womb, that when we reconnect to our power of our wombs and our voices not just, speak and say something that is accurate or we should say, but then we start to use our voice as a power of our deep message, as a power for change, for influence in the world. And when women do step more and more into power, we can change things that we really, really care for, like education of our children, like our health, right? That's sustainable health, empowerment. And women function, I'm not going to give you all the details, but women function, how we live, how we're meant to thrive, is we thrive in circles, in a cyclical nature of things, not linear calendars that we've been offered, but remembering that we are cyclical. And there's so much to the power of a circle, of a cycle, of your cycle, of a cycle of a woman. So we're going to be unpacking and diving into all of that. There will be modules on healing. There will be some yoni practices, deep yoni practices like yoni steams, the egg practice. And we will be reclaiming the archetype of the wild woman. And the dark goddess will be dancing with us. So if it speaks to you, I'll post the link for the invitation. You're welcome to join us. And this is an opportunity for us. Everything that happens, everything as happens as we become the powerful, conscious creators of our life, the obstacle becomes the way. The problem becomes the solution because we are courageous enough to say yes. Women carry multiple archetypes, and very often they're not all praised in the world. But hey, we're not going to wait for the world to invite us. You pull a chair and we create our own reality. And my mission is not even so much to fight the old. I've been in it for 20 years now. When I started with the wellness industry and meditation, mindfulness, yoga, and I was never welcome in the traditional industries. Although I was able to cover it with insurances and all kinds of perks, and I was never welcome in the big hospitals. And I was always the weird girl, who made people a little uncomfortable. It was a little woo-woo. So I'm not here to fight the old, but I'm here to build the new. And I want to build it with other sisters that are incredibly powerful, that remember their medicine, and that we are weaving this beautiful community, beautiful new earth together, standing tall and proud in our power, in our medicines, and that's what's needed. I just got back from a huge gathering in Oregon, and we were about 750 women. And when you looked around the circles, everything was there, medically, physically, massage, potions. Like there's so much abundance, there's so much power, money, everything is available. So we don't need as much when we are tuned into our hearts, into our wombs, and back into the sacred spiral of life. So today I am here to show up and tell you that I am feeling all the feels. And before hopping on this life, I did all the sacred rage, the goddess dances, the somatic movement to get this out of my body and ride the wave. But I wanted to be here present with you to say that I feel you, I hear you, and also may today be a day that we remember that there is still work to be done, and we're here rising up, showing up in our power, in our medicine, in our sisterhood, and create a beautiful, beautiful earth together. So let's not fight the old, let's build the new. I'm here and I hear you today. Whatever you're feeling, it's valid, it's present. I love you. Let's be in touch soon. There will be a part 2 to this. So I'll either post something or write something. So let's stay tuned. I love you. Stay in your power. Nobody, no man, no law can take your power away because that's God-given law. It's God-given power. And it's in your womb. It's in your heart. And you know it. And I know it. Until we meet again. Bye, loves.